Ticket prices have gone up again. Surprised? Not us. Also, we've got some Avatar news to talk about tonight, and we're also going to talk about the best and the worst restrooms at Disney. All that tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for December 11th, 2022. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate you. Please make sure to subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content than this, and give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us and makes all these folks who took their time tonight very happy, including my good friend, Mr. Patrick Hackett.
Hey, how's it going? I can't believe what's going on right below me.
Oh, man, we are so blessed tonight. Your screen has been blessed, people. Stephanie, right back from space. How's it going, Stephanie?
Rising moons and safe journeys, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Oh, we're going to get a lot of that tonight, aren't we? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. And, oh, my God, back in the saddle again, Mr. Peter Carney.
Sivako, everyone. I am so excited to be back. And what a beautiful, beautiful looking panel we have tonight.
Whew. Good golly. Just so much love all over the place tonight. Thank you guys so much again for being with us. We're going to jump right into some Parks news, or as we call it, Around the Hub TM, Patrick Hackett. Yes, exactly. I'm legally obligated to do that, or else we cannot go any further. So some of the news that we got this was about the one-day park tickets going up in price. And, you know, we've been in this like love honeymoon thing with Bob Iger coming back, and we've been thinking Bob's going to fix everything. Bob's going to make it better. Bob wouldn't hurt us. Bob loves us. And then then this ticket thing happened where we knew they were going to do it. One-day tickets now include a park reservation, so that's at least a little better. But it's $189 for Magic Kingdom on a peak time, and we are in peak time, people. Patrick, $189, that's a drop in the bucket for you, my friend, but how do you feel about this?
Meet the new Bob, same as the old Bob. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen. It goes up every time this year. Dynamic pricing is everywhere. Hopefully Taylor Swift can destroy Ticketmaster, and we can come back from some of this, because it's just dynamic pricing. I mean, I know I'm a big sports fan. If I want to go see the Red Sox play like the Pirates, it's cheap. If I want to go to a Sox-Yankee game, it's tough. So, you know, I expect dynamic pricing. $200 for a single day in Magic Kingdom, and especially if that doesn't include Genie Plus, that is entirely too much money. You're not going to get to do anything. I mean, you'd have to rope drop and stay to closing, and you're going to be tired, exhausted, and miserable. And we'll talk more about, you know, when you have to use the bathrooms a little later on.
Peter, how are you feeling about this? You got an annual pass. You don't have to worry about it.
I do, which is very nice. But, all right, so I have a couple things. One, if you told me we get Bob Iger back, but we got to pay an extra $20 a day, I'm okay with that trade-off. So that's one. Two, I think Patrick made excellent points that this happens every year. It does seem more extreme because it just is a harder pill to swallow. When you use the words like about 200 a day, that's a lot different than like $139.99. Just like mentally to get over. I just wish they didn't treat us like fools so much. Like it's like, oh, like when you click on it, it shows you the lowest price for the lowest park on that day. Then you have to click on it, then you go pick your park. I don't know. My advice is, and I know this happens in very unique situations where you have to buy a one-day ticket sometimes, but a one-day ticket's just an awful value at Walt Disney World, and you should never buy a one-day ticket unless you're completely desperate. Like, just buy the 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days if you can, or just go twice during 1 year and an AP pays itself off based on discounts, parking discounts, merch discounts. A one-day ticket is insane. If you think about it, even if you pay $1,200 a year for the annual pass, which I think I pay $1,000 a year, and I'm the second level. That's just literally 5 days of the Magic Kingdom during peak season. Like, come on, it's a no-brainer at that point. Buy the AP and then figure out a reason to come back and hang with us again.
But you know what? That's a good point. I mean, we're blocked out of selling APs. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it does seem like it makes the AP a great value. Which then again, if I'm Disney, I'm going, why are we giving them such a great value for this? Like when I have to pay for it, when I have to pay for it, it doesn't seem like a great value. When I have to re-up it for my family, I'm like, ow. But at the same time, when you look at this and say, well, almost $200 a day, like you're talking about, and then on top of that, we have to pay for the Genie Plus, which surges up to $30, and then we might have to buy a lightning lane if we're Patrick, or we may have to buy food, I don't know, when we're in there to eat, or if you're one day, one park, you probably have to pay for parking, because I assume you're not staying on grounds and or an AP, obviously, if you're buying a ticket. So there's a lot of other little things that all of a sudden, a family of four going for a day could be $1,500 just for tickets and amenities, and it's kind of crazy. Speaking of people who have large families, Stephanie, how are you feeling about this? Like all 18 people in your family have AP?
We have 7. Yeah, 7.
7?
Right. But one of them is still under 3, so we don't. But we do all have AP, so that's, how we make our money back, I guess. But yes, it feels like, Rob, you're right. I was kind of skeptical when you said it feels like the park is crowded back to its original, capacity that was pre-pandemic. And I was like, I don't know about that. But then going this past week, absolutely it is. Every single one of them is that way. And it's kind of ridiculous. So maybe they're trying to do this dynamic pricing, like Patrick said, and kind of push people into those lower capacity or lower zones, like the off season, as they like to say. And the problem with that is when you have kids, you really can't take them out of school. And when you do take them out of school, there's a lot of mess to that. So that really puts you in the summertime or over the breaks. And that is high capacity for real. So you're paying the top dollar during those weeks, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and Kate, I saw in chat, mentioned, well, this was all planned before Bob Iger was coming on board. But again, with the stroke of a pen, he could stop whatever he wanted to, right? I mean, theoretically, he could stop any of this that he wanted to. Now, the good news about this pass is that it gets the park reservation with it, which again, if you're going to equate a one-day, one-park ticket to a guest, I'm assuming it's a guest that the park reservation system is probably a mystery to them. So from that standpoint, I think that's probably a good idea. But when we looked at this this particular case, it was the 189 ticket for the Magic Kingdom was sold out that day. That's kind of crazy pants to me.
The last 2 months is basically the equivalent of Universal just opened their new escape room, because you had to buy a ticket, then hope you could find a reservation. And then you were like, you know what, I want to make sure I have a great day because I paid all this money for a ticket, so I'm going to do the Genie Plus. And then you have to figure out Genie Plus, and then you're like, wait a minute, there's nothing left on Genie Plus. I have to now figure out how to do a lightning lane. And now I have to download, the Disney Parks Play app for the kids. It is insane, the amount of technology and how aware you have to be of technology to go to Disney World right now. It's crazy.
You definitely have to plan.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to do your research, right? Yeah, I mean, again, there's prices are going to go up, but I just feel like we've been hit with price increase after price increase after price increase. And Merry Christmas to everybody who's going to the parks right now. It's the most expensive ticket in town, and yet they're selling them out. So that's I guess good for them. I don't know.
My guess is this one day, one ticket, one park that comes with the reservation is saving a ton of cast members dealing with people who think they can just drop by Disney World. And you can't. And it's weird to say something like that.
Yeah, what do we think about the deficit in the pricing here, though? Because, again, you're not going to see on this piece the 189 because it was unavailable, but 139 for Epcot, 149 for Hollywood Studios, and 134 for Animal Kingdom. Is that pretty much on point? Is that how we value those parks?
Probably.
I mean, for me, it's kind of crazy because Epcot is so expensive, and then really, at least for my family and friends, you're basically going to pay to eat and drink around the world and then get some cool merch for whatever occasion it is. So, you're going to drop another few $100 easily. The fact that Animal Kingdom actually, you can go and experience a day there and go on some, amazing attractions. Some of my favorite rides in all of Disney World, Expedition Everest, the safaris are ever-changing, the whole Land of Avatar and Flight of Passage. That park, great, and it's the cheapest park. And then Epcot, you're paying $140 to basically say, all right, you can go to this food court now. That's crazy. And don't get me wrong, I love Epcot. It's one of my favorite places in the world to be. But, it's just kind of crazy. I have an AP, so I get away with it. But then when I ask my friends, to pay $140 to go into a park and then drop another $300 on food and drink. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that thing that DCA was going to do out in California. I guess they started it as they were starting to open the parks, where you could pay an admission price to get in, but all you could do is shop and eat. And so, like,
it should be like kind of like when you used to get table service at a club or a bar, where like you have a table minimum, like you can come in, it's $500, but you just gotta make sure you spend it by the end of the day, or we're just gonna charge you whatever the difference is. Because I'd have no problem with that.
I like fair. That. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, Patrick, call Bob. Get that rolling. Let's make that
Bob
happen.
doesn't actually answer my calls. Something about Josh and
Oh no.
It's all good.
He barely answers James Cameron's email. He's not going to pick up calls.
Good point. You know what? That's a great transition, Peter. Let's move right
right?
into it. Let's talk about it. There's the Avatar: The Way of Water is coming to theaters December 16th. Get your tickets now if you haven't already. But on top of that, there's going to be some specialty foods at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We've got the Tree of Life Awakenings thing happening there for the Way of Water. On the tree. That's kind of fun, because I mean, we're doing that at Epcot, right? That's a neat thing to be able to have the projection and some synergy back and forth with this event. I'm still interested to see like what people are thinking about this movie, because I have talked to a bunch of people. They're like, I think I'm going to pass. I'm not really excited about this movie. And so then, I think Patrick, I had to bully you into doing that for Deep in the Plus and talk about that movie. So they got to make a lot of money here, so they got a lot of synergy going on. But James Cameron, as you mentioned, knocked on hey, Bob, welcome back. Here's what I'd like to do. That Flight of Passage thing we have, let's go ahead and put some Way of Water stuff in it. And this brings up a point we've talked about a lot. All these screen-based attractions they have, they should be able to update them on the fly. I mean, like, it's just a screen. You should be able to do that. And I don't know. I mean, Stephanie, there's a ton of them. There's Star Tours and there's Toy Story. Why don't they do more of that, do you think? And don't say money, because it's got to be something else, right?
Lazy? I don't know. Money.
Oh!
Wow.
Also a good answer.
I guess, right. So we rode Guardians for the first time, and that's another one that I feel like would be an easy update for not just the song track that you're, Run Run Rocket, because they didn't want to pay for Run Run Rudolph or whatever, but for Christmas. But they could have added something. I mean, maybe you're paying the voice actors to update some of the lyrics and I mean, whatever they're saying, the script. But I feel like that's an easy thing to do. For the Avatar ride, I'm not sure, because there's a lot of water scenes already. Like, you do the whole barrel roll through the ocean, you have the spray that hits you. And so I don't know, there's a lot of that there already. Maybe they just add in some of the newer characters. Maybe that's an update that they can do, and not necessarily take the whole ride in a different direction, because the ride is good as it is. I would say, though, I would love to see some of the pre-show go away, because I timed it. There's almost as much pre-show as there is real ride in that whole thing.
I love the pre-show.
Yeah, that is.
Well, there's two.
That is a
there's
thing.
Essentially two pre-shows.
There's a few different versions of the pre-show based on how long it takes to load in and out of that ride.
Yes.
So you might get
Correct.
a very long version of the pre-show, or a very short version if they're turning it over quickly. Since I'm up here now, I will just say, I want to know what they're going to measure success as for this movie, because the first one made more money than any other movie in the history of movies. So if it did half of that, is that still a success? That's $500 million. It's made over $1 billion, like, worldwide, I believe, or something like that. So, like, where do we measure success? Also, in terms of changing the ride, I will say, like, I'm sure it's a lot harder than just changing the images on the screen. Like you say, like, those motions where you feel like you're doing a barrel roll, or the water splashing in your face, or the banshee breathing at certain moments. Those all have to be, obviously would take some time. Again, I don't think it would be a ton of money to update. I would love to see an update every movie, and I think it would get people excited about the new movie as well. And I love the projections on the Tree of Life, because that, again, is like, so you don't have to change any banshee breathing or special effects. That's just a show on a tree. So that, I'm totally forward to more of that. I would love to see more rides get updated, besides Avatar. But again, I think if you want to keep it, let's say proper, where you get off the ride and you're like, what did I just experience? You do have to incorporate everything, the wind blowing in your face, those barrel rolls. And I'll say, because we just talked about Guardians, like, that's why I kind of don't like the holiday overlay. I think those songs were timed and synced up so perfectly, those original 6 songs on Guardians, that the holiday overlay just felt like they changed the song, but you're on the same ride, and it's not as thrilling or fun for me because I'm just hearing holiday music on this roller coaster now, and it's not synced up to those turns and those moments of the songs that matter.
I still think that they could have totally done a screen-based holiday version of it because everything's on the screens, and then it's not
And
like,
they
I don't
had
know, they were
everyone
making
together.
a holiday
Oh yeah,
episode,
we
and
change the
they could
music
have
anyway.
gotten
Who
that.
cares?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the Guardians holiday episode. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick,
Yeah.
what's up?
So I really want to focus on the food here because as much as I enjoy the attraction, Satuli Canteen is one of the best places to eat on property.
Yeah.
And adding some new
Amen.
stuff in there is such a great idea. And it's a way, like Pete was saying, to get attention for the movie in the park instead of, the movie drawing attention for the park. I like it. I think it's a good idea. The food looks amazing. That dessert sounds so good. Let's get some drink specials in there, some new beers. Every time I go, I expect something new, and I can't check into anything else on Untapped. I'm like, come on, give me something. Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
really good.
That does look
It's
really
visually appealing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's work. You want to talk about lazy? That's somebody somewhere is doing their job. It might just be Zach Ridley, but someone somewhere is making efforts.
You think
It's just
Zach
the
Ridley? You think Zach Ridley whipped this up? Is that what you're telling me?
He
good. Yeah,
did,
that's
but I
definitely a
just
Zach Ridley production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he specializes
That's not
in
on the floor,
floors.
that's
I
on
don't
a
know.
table.
That
Yeah, it's just the flooring.
yeah. Listen, someone
You know what they
creative
should
does
also to
something
help
good.
advertise the movie? It is Avatar: The Way of Water. Is maybe if we use less straws, we can protect the Avatar people.
Oh,
You like that transition setup too?
good. Yeah, he's just setting him up, knocking him down.
You son of a, let's just move on and we'll talk about straws now that you've already ripped that Band-Aid off. It's funny to me because we talked about this, I think, last week when we were talking about how the Jungle Cruise now has this little bag that they give you, a Ziploc bag, which I want, but they said, well, let's be more environmentally friendly in the parks. We're going to get rid of the plastic bags, the plastic straws, the plastic lids. We're going to have paper straws. So I thought paper straws were the answer, but no, they want us to skip the straw completely. I mean, they've even come up with it's a genius plan. I mean, see how the straw makes part of the K? Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. I almost think it looks like it says "Scop the straw," but you know what? That's fine. It's all good. I mean, we
honestly
won't.
though, like I love how they use the Disney Plus circle in the Project Possible on the bottom. Like they're dropping a little Disney Plus hint there. And you know what? If you're gonna take the straws away completely, or at least we have to ask for them, don't give me the garbage paper straws. Give me those amazing agave straws. I shouldn't even give this away. But because I love your audience, Rob, and you do such a great job, go to any Joffrey's when you're at Epcot or any Joffrey's in any park and stock up on those agave straws so you don't have to use those terrible paper straws they give you. The agave straws are great, still helping the environment. You're welcome. But anyway, yeah, if you're going to take the straws away, upgrade the disposable straw game. That's what I say.
Well, when I go to Pangu Pangu and I get my Night Blossom, it better have a straw stuck in it. That's all I got to say. When they take the little tweezers and they take the straw and drop it in your drink, like I need them to still do that if I'm having a slushy drink. I mean, if I'm just
That's
drinking
like
a tea or
PVC
whatever,
pipe. That straw is wide.
that's
You gotta
a
get the
serious
boba.
straw.
That boba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
No,
That's
I
right.
hate
I nearly
the boba.
died the other day
All I
eating
get out of
boba.
those
It's
things is brain freeze, not boba.
All right, Patrick, you've got a little one. Do you ever feel like, man, I wish this had a lid on it?
Oh, okay. I can get rid of straws. I actually hate drinking out of straws. I really dislike it. But lids, come on. Like, lids are important, and my daughter spills constantly. She does not need assistance to make the beverage flow out easier. I think we learned that, like Pete said, paper isn't the answer. The metal straws are not the answer. I don't like the way it feels against my teeth. It tastes weird. Those sugar straws are amazing, but why do we not have more disposable straw, not reusable straw options in the parks, in the gift shops? It's just not enough. Like, give me a fancy straw. You see how we go nuts for popcorn buckets and everything else. Give me collectible straws. I'm a sucker.
Yeah.
Let me buy it. Just let me make my life easier by buying something from you.
Oh, You're muted.
Scott the straw.
Sorry. So before we go into Stephanie on this one, this has got the sign on top of a straw dispenser. Does that mean that if I hit the straw dispenser, there's nothing in it? And if so, then why leave the straw dispenser there?
Yes.
Because it says on the sign you have to go ask a cast member. That's almost cruel, isn't it?
No, it's virtue signaling. That's what it is. Because I'm going to go hard on this one, because if you're going to say, don't give me a straw, don't give me a straw for my kids, is going to spill it all over their shirt, all over the stroller. Why are there so many plastic forks and spoons and knives? Okay? Why haven't you spent the money to go ahead and get the bamboo ones? The bamboo ones feel like plastic. They're not floppy around. You know, they're pretty good and they're environmentally friendly. We can, you know, sustainable. It's very sustainable bamboos growing in my backyard right now. So let's go all the way. Why are we just stopping at straws here, people?
Get him, Stephanie. Let's before Pete makes his transition for me. The DuckTales World Showcase Adventure has been something that they've been teasing.
Straws are killing ducks in my pond outside. You should hear their story and their tales. Anyway, what were you saying?
Whoa! Life is like a hurricane. So in the Disney Parks app, they have added, I guess in the Play app specifically, they've added this DuckTales World Showcase Adventure coming soon, which again, a little bit of a tease. If I'm a little kid and I'm flipping through there, I go, oh, this DuckTales thing, oh, I can't do it. Oh, that's a bummer. Like, wait and tell me when it's live, maybe? Like, what is the advantage to saying, hey, kids, coming soon? I don't know, but I wish this thing had been there for a long time. Like, I mean, it seems like they've talked about it. The show's been canceled for, what, 2 years? They're still going forward with it, which I think is great. Kim Possible started way after the show was, mattered, and then they replaced it with Perry right as that show was ending. So their timing couldn't be better on these things, really. But with the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure, it feels like a lot of the infrastructure is probably already there, and I'm not really sure, Patrick, what took them so long to make this happen. Can you please explain it to me in small words?
Yeah, sure. They're bad at this stuff. I think that's the smallest, simplest way to say it. I don't know how you can have all these properties and all this entertainment and be this bad at advertising it. Like, I don't know. I love DuckTales. I have no idea why it's off the air. There's always been the rumor that Disney doesn't like shows to get a certain amount of episodes so they don't have to pay people. We've obviously heard about the creative differences, especially on the animation side. So there's a lot of reasons. My guess is they're doing it is we can go with the old favorite because money. It's already done, and eventually they'll just flip a switch and it'll be on. When? Soon.
So we have a super chat, and maybe again y'all can explain this one to them. Thank you, CK Barry, for this one. Are others having a harder time recommending a visit to family and friends? I've gone from it's hot, crowded, and expensive, but it's fun, to it's hot, crowded, complicated, and expensive, and not sure it's for you. First of all, thank you, CK Barry, for the super chat. We appreciate you. Let's pause on that one, and Mr. Positivity down here, make a case, Pete Carney, for why you would still recommend this to people.
Oh, that's a tough one. You know what's really sad is we moved down here and we're like, we're right by Disney. Everyone loves Disney. There's no reason not to come, and we can always make it easier for them, and I'll help them book their 3 free fast passes, and you can just go to any park you want throughout the day at any time. And now people are like, hey, we're thinking about coming to Disney. And I'm like, ugh, well, have you heard about Gatorland? So, if I'm being serious, I tell people that I think that they should do Disney not as often, because it is just frustrating to see family and friends or buy the annual pass. That's what I tell people. Either buy the annual pass and it won't be as bad and you can justify the pain, the money, or just if you're gonna just buy the 1 week ticket, come every 3 to 5 years, because things might be better by then. And construction projects take 3 to 5 years anyway, so there's not gonna be a new ride for 5 years. So just come every 3 to 5 years. Let's go there to Wonderworks or something up the road that's $40 for the day.
Yeah, Wonderworks. I mean, that's why a lot of people are talking about Universal, right? I mean, you don't have to do a park reservation. You know, the pricing is a little bit better. They do still have some pretty marquee attractions. So, you know, I get it. You know, I've had those conversations too, where it's really hard to tell people, hey, you know, you should definitely do this. This is for you. Back in the day, I would say, hey, you know what? If you're not taking your kid to Disney, I need to call child services because you're not treating your kid right. Now I'm looking at it as like, you know what? Maybe you're doing them a favor, depending on how it goes, you know, along the way. But anyway, that's a good. Oh, we've got another one. So thank you, Rosita, the Super Chat Queen. When people tell me they're going to WDW, I tell them you need to know Genie Plus and recommend they start watching WDWNT. Woo! Smart. I love that. Thank you so much, Rosita. We appreciate you.
That way
Let's
you
move
can
on.
grow to hate it as much as Tom does. And then bring your family.
I watched Tom and Eric's review of the drinks at Great Movie Escape. Tom looked so happy. I was like,
he
oh
called
my
his
God.
favorite part.
Disney has killed him. It's literally sucked everything out of him. Him and Eric were
I
having
will
such
say,
a good
though,
time.
go back to the original video they did at Disneyland for Galaxy's Edge opening, and he sounded the same way. He was like throwing that John Hammond, they spared no expense, totally pumping it up. This is the best thing Disney has ever done. We're not feeling that way to these days, but I mean, back in the day, if you go back and watch it, that had that same kind of fire with him. Let's talk about the Indiana Jones refurbishment coming to Disneyland. A lot of things that happen. Disneyland does, I feel like, a lot more refurbishments than we do, like all at once. I say we because I mean East Coast. But you know, I don't know if they keep better track of their rides, but they'll pull down. Yeah, thanks, throwing up the sign. But I feel like they have like sometimes you'll go and there'll be like 6 things down, and you're just like, this is nuts. Is this still worth the money to go in? But one of the things they're talking about doing is taking the new Dial of Destiny, which is the Indiana Jones 5 movie, and putting maybe some effects and things from that movie into this attraction. And part of me goes, well, you don't want to ruin a classic attraction with IP, but this is an IP attraction. So I mean, it's kind of built-in IP. It should.
Most attractions are IP attractions.
I know. I'm saying, like, my
Even
default
before.
move. My default move is like, oh, do we really need to do this? But I'm kind of excited when they add new stuff to an attraction. But guess who's not? Miss Thumbs Down over here. What's your problem? What you feeling okay?
I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. I just am. I'm you know, from the get-go. Each movie stands alone. That's why it's called Indiana Jones and what have you, the Temple, you know, of Doom, or you know, the Last Crusade.
And a
each
visit to
of his,
Disneyland.
right, exactly. Because each thing is different. Each thing is his own, you know, adventure in and of itself. So you don't need to pull in other things. You can have something standing alone, and that's unique in its space and time. And then I love that ride. I think that's the best ride at Disneyland. I could probably give you 13 reasons off the top of my head why that's the best ride at Disneyland. And if they do pull that in, I'm just going to be super disappointed, because Indy needs to, you know, live on forever in our hearts and in our history there. So I don't want them to bring in Phoebe, what's her face.
Mutt
Patrick?
Williams, right? Mutt Williams is going to take over.
No, come on, man. No Mutt.
No?
Mutt's been canceled.
Are you sure? They named the
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
Mutt. I'm not sure. I say update it. Honestly, put a crystal skull in there. Whatever.
No!
It's fine. It's a great attraction. A couple little things here and there aren't going to ruin it. You know, just
Well, if they're going to do
because we
anything,
don't.
bring back the falling rock. Bring back the actual
Yeah.
physical effects.
Yeah, that'll go over real well in 2022. That people will handle that incredibly well.
Okay. Pete Carney, thoughts?
Well, one, I think this ride needs a lot of love. I haven't been out to Disneyland in a while, but according to just Twitter, this ride constantly is having things not work. So any refurbishment will probably touch those things up, so that's a good thing. And in terms of adding new stuff to a great attraction that a lot of people love, please see 15 minutes ago when we talked about Flight of Passage and Avatar 2 coming out. Because isn't that what we're talking about here? Like, I don't see them spending a ton of money. Like, I don't think they're going to, like, build a new room based on the new movie. There might be a reference here or there. I don't see them investing so much money in a movie that hasn't come out and proven itself as, like, a whole new big complicated with audio animatronic scene. You're probably talking about something pretty small, and they're gonna wait and see on how successful the movie is. But I think the ride needs a refurb anyway, so get in there and fix it all up.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So let's move on to this. I was confused when this first hit WDWNT.com. So apparently there's this box that you can buy that is for if you're proposing to someone. Now, call me old-fashioned, but is this the thing you want to shove in somebody's face before you tell them you want to spend the rest of your life with them? I could be wrong on this. I could be. I don't know, but I look at. It's an ornament, right? And it's like, plus, nothing says I've prepared for this moment more than you running into Creation Shop and grabbing one of these real quick. What do you got in the box there, honey? Don't worry about it. I'll tell you under Spaceship Earth. Do what?
And no tree's prepared to have that thing hanging on it. What branch is strong enough for that thing?
Plus, it's got this ring.
Include a fake plastic ring.
Can you get away with using that ring to propose, Patrick?
No.
Come on, what?
No. If anyone is proposing to you using that plastic ring, run. Run as far as you can. That is not the right person for you or anyone else. That person is doomed to walk this earth alone because they thought that this was a good idea. You know, man, there was an old bit in SNL when Adam Sandler went on like Jeopardy or something and just said, "Who is the ad wizards that came up with this one?" Seriously, who is thinking about this? You know what we need? People want a plastic box to propose. We have so many proposals. Why aren't we cashing in them? You know, just get a nice plastic, and it doubles as an ornament. It's
sure.
like
I mean,
if
you hang it on the
got
tree as a
punched.
reminder that this is what you got proposed to with that one time. I mean,
I really shouldn't talk. I proposed to my wife on a rest area in the middle of I-91 in Massachusetts, so I might not be the best.
Why not? Everybody loved the Jim and Pam proposal, and that was on the side of a
That's
highway
true.
too. I think brilliant.
And then they
Yeah.
stole our baby name and had a baby before we did.
Right?
and you know what though?
Living your life.
And maybe I'm undercutting this thing. Maybe because it's not cheap. It's $45.
That's
No,
what
it
I'm
is
saying.
cheap.
And
It is
I can't
cheap.
say much more about it because Lauren's watching. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, Lauren.
Yep. You're like, why are you doing this to me? I already have it. I already bought it. It's right in the drawer here.
I almost had to cancel being on the show, but I was like, nah, he won't cut to me on this one.
Oh, so sorry, dude. I apologize. I don't know, man. My wife just made it clear to me, don't do a jumbo screen. Like, I don't want that in my life. And so, like, okay. I had a friend at work who said he better not give me a ring on Christmas Day because he still owes me a Christmas present. I was like, the ring is not the present. And I was like, okay. Wow.
The box that comes in.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on from that into some Genie stuff. So there are two things specifically that happened with Genie in this past week. One is that we were told, hey, you know that technology we have? Somebody thinks we stole it from them. So that's interesting. So like, you know, do we just pack it up and go home and go back to paper fast passes or what? And then the second piece of it, well, we'll talk about the second piece in a second. Patrick, I mean, are we in trouble here? Are they going to redo it? Are you going to think to pay these people off, or what do you think's going to happen?
It feels like a pretty frivolous lawsuit. It doesn't seem like there wasn't a whole lot in our article about it, but it just you don't have a trademark on ideas like this. Other people can come up with the same thing at the same time. If you scroll down, they actually made a typo in their filing, and that made me kind of be like, all right, what kind of fly-by-night ambulance chasing law firm is doing this? People come up with the same ideas at the same time all the time. Disney was probably working on this years before this company, and we haven't even heard, have they showed it to Disney? Did Disney know about it? Did Disney hire one of their developers? So, man, I just think it's a easy place to sue.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Well, so we won't worry about the lawsuit then, and instead they have modified the way you modify items on Genie Plus. So this is actually a great thing for me. Like if you have to use Genie Plus, this is a great thing because before you would go in and you would make a reservation, and unlike in the past when they would go in and say, hey, pick a time, like they do when you get a dinner reservation, they go, this is your time, take it or leave it, and then you're stuck. And then if you drop it, then you have the risk of, well, I don't have that one anymore, and now you go to get a different one, and it's kind of a mess. The new one allows you to modify the reservation that you have rather than to drop it or go get a different one. So, Stephanie, I don't know if you have thoughts on this or if you actually used it since you just got back from there.
Yes, it's better. They changed it right after we left, so we didn't get a chance to do that. But yeah, I'm a planner. That's what I enjoy doing, and I help family and friends do as well when they decide to go. But I used to be one of those that spoke up at 6 a.m. the 6 months in advance and got my 3 Fast Pass Pluses that I could get, and I would plan out my day around those. So I would make my dining reservations and things like that to where I could make sure that I was getting to the rides on time and within that 1 hour window. So this is better, without having to, because you're doing your dining 2 months in advance anyway, right? So you're going to have that locked in. And then if they give you a time that says, this is during your dining reservation, you can't go. But now you can modify that. Now you can say, no, push me back to the end of the day. I still don't know how, if it's making any difference with getting the better rides, the mountains and Magic Kingdom and everything versus just the shows or the other things that they were trying to push people towards. Tiki Room, I don't know.
Pete, have you used this at all? The new version?
Yeah, I've used it, and that's why I'm sad. If I'm having a bit of a day, I just go use Genie Plus, and it brings me right back down to earth. I don't know. If you can scrap a hundreds of millions of dollars fireworks show Harmonious after a quick run because you think it didn't really work, I think it's okay to scrap Genie Plus, or at least a different version of it. You could still call it Genie Plus and just bring back old elements of the Fast Pass system that worked. We're also coming into 100 years of Disney, so maybe make it into some kind of fun thing for the 100 years. Like you get, like the year of a million wishes when you got something, and it could have been something as little as like $3 off of something, or a night at Cinderella's Castle. Maybe if you buy Genie Plus, you get a 1 in 100 chance, or $1 to $100 off of Fast Passes for the day, whatever it is. I don't know, but it's got to be revamped. The current version's terrible. I don't think I've found a single person who has said, I've had a 100% successful trip with my Genie Plus. It was easy to do. It was worth the money. I got to do all the things that I wanted to. Like, that just has never happened in the history of any guest using it. And does that sound like a great service? Yet, Harmonious is probably the best nighttime spectacular we have right now at the moment, until they bring back Happily Ever After. And they're scrapping that. They're literally just being like, you know what? We're going to throw these barges out.
Those barges are amazing.
They are, and they should. They belong in the at Disney's Animal Kingdom, since they, without pyro, you have fountains, you have lighting. It would make for a great show at night and keeping people in the park. Don't scrap it. Save me money as a Disney stockholder. Tug them on over to Animal Kingdom. Put them in the old Kite Lagoon, and then go ahead. Bring back Colt on Dorsey. Bring back a version of Illuminations.
All right.
Okay. That all sounds good. So, while you guys were talking, we had another super chat from Rosita. Genie Plus needs to go. She was all caps on this one, buddy. It was like, needs to go. Now, so the thing is, like, for me, like we've talked about it before, Max Pass I thought was fine because, at first I thought, wow, you're charging me to use this app that I get for free in Florida when I go to Disneyland. But it was really actually kind of convenient the way you could go on the fly and do things. But there's so many modifications on Genie Plus, and the price is so much higher, and what you get is so much smaller. And especially they had a level for annual pass holders in Disneyland that would include it, and now everyone has to pay the same price every day. And if you're an annual pass holder, at least you can go and say, you know what, I'll wait in line if I feel like it. If not, I'll come back another day, as opposed to somebody who is going for that one time and they need to, pay for Genie Plus and pay for their lightning lanes and pay, a Task Rabbit to stand in line for them. I don't know. All the things that you could possibly have. Ooh, did I just come up with a great idea?
Yeah, that's
Did I just come up with a great idea? Is that cheaper than Genie Plus? Woo, I don't. Wow, interesting. All right, look for that. And from Carney Industries.
Disney park goers, just like the person who played Genie the second time in the movie.
Castellaneta?
Wow.
That's Homer Simpson, man.
No, that's not who he's talking about.
Oh,
I ought to slap you right now.
That's right.
So anyway, let's move on to Toy Story Land, because a couple of different stories happening in Toy Story Land that I felt like, maybe we need to talk about. One of them is that they've added a couple of new, like anytime they add one little thing, we've got a reporter there and we do an article about it. So they've added these little toothpick stars to the top, and we reported on it on WDWNT.com. So, it looks like still kind of a mess. I still don't understand why it's taking so long, because the building itself, Pete, I'm going to go to this one to you. You got that construction history. This building went up in like 9 minutes, and then it's been 2, 3 years, 4 years since they started working on it. I mean, is this ever going to get finished?
It's not hard to put up a building. Like, you really can do it pretty quickly. It's what you're putting inside of it, and the amount of time they've spent, I expect like Woody to be walking around greeting me. I actually expect to be shrunk down to a real size of a like, there's got to be so much tech going on, which we know there's not, right? This would be a barbecue place that's going to look like a Ponderosa from when we were kids. That's what it's in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, the COVID could have really shut it down. They could have used the manpower in other places. Also, getting permitting sometimes is very hard. I know Disney kind of monitors itself, but when it comes to food, that is an outside. You need to get your health, all that health stuff done. And it could have been that when they dug down, they found something in the groundwater. I mean, anything could have happened on a construction site to delay this stuff. I think the biggest problem was they realized, how are we going to create a walkway from Cars and Rock and Roller Coaster over to Andy's backyard, and now we just blocked that perfect walkway. I don't know. I honestly, who knows why it took so long, but hey, we got flags on toothpicks, and this is a big, big story.
Breaking. Did you just roast Ponderosa? Don't do that. Ponderosa was.
My apologies to the former owners of Ponderosa who are currently living in the Bahamas.
Ponderosa had to walk so that Sizzler could run, my friend. Come on,
that's kind of like a Sizzler, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the concept art, which indeed did include the little toothpicks at the top. So I mean,
it wasn't budget cut.
That's correct.
Yeah, the toothpicks actually happened. So that's exciting. I mean, I think you were talking about this earlier, Patrick. It might have been you saying that, let us give you money. I mean, they need some more places to feed people in this park, and it seems like they would have fast-tracked this. They fast-tracked things like DVC and other things we know that make money, slow things down on, like projects like Moana that's still under construction. We'll talk about in a minute. But does it surprise you it's taken so long to open up a place that seemingly should just rake in some dough?
Yeah. So a couple days ago, I was looking back at my Facebook memories, and I said that my Christmas lights were in soft openings, and they were expected to open before Tron, and that was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Why can other places build entire theme parks and we can't finish a restaurant?
That's a good question.
I do have one thing. I will say the toothpick flags, whatever. But if you take those and you put them in a sandwich and you cut my sandwich in half, and I'm down with that.
Yeah.
How big is that sandwich going to be if they're taking them off the roof? Oh my God!
No.
They've updated a few of the decorations. I feel like these were there when I was there, but they did around Andy's. They did some popcorn trim around the Woody's Lunchbox. So you can see that popcorn trim, and that's kind of neat. We already knew we had Woody in the in the scarf and all that, and they've it's been a while since they brought all this stuff back. But Tom made a good point on his Instagram. It was like, why aren't you letting us buy this cookie? This cookie looks amazing. Why can't you buy this cookie in the park?
Or buy any of it. They had Rex with the reindeer antlers on at the very top of Slinky Dog. And I was looking at all the Christmas decorations, and my kids were looking at the construction. They were like, "Mommy, what's that?" It's very imposing to the land. It's like this brown. And I'm like, it's the Roundup barbecue. It's not there. So, but the decorations are very cute. They really are.
Yep. So also something that people are talking about is there's a big dirt pit, but as you enjoy your monorail ride from the the Polynesian to the Grand Floridian, there's this nice big dirt pit, the former home of Luau Cove, that is now just lots and lots of dirt. It's really beautiful, a wonderful view off the monorail. If you got a chance, you should definitely take this in. This is supposed to be the new Poly building. As a matter of fact, I had one of our viewers like message me. It was like, "Hey, what's that big dirt mound that they're doing in between Poly and the Grand Floridian?" And I'm thinking, any time that they push the dirt from the left to the right, we run a story on it. So I don't know how we missed that, but I mean, this thing is still coming. But when I look at the dirt area that they've got set off for it, and I look at this concept art, it feels like we're not going to be able to fit this thing in unless it goes right up against the wedding pavilion and overshadows that. So I'm hoping somebody's working on sightlines about that thing. But
you're not thinking about the scale. The height of the ceilings are only 4 feet, and the doorways are only about 6 inches.
Gotcha.
Yes.
No, you see, this is why we bring you on, Pete. You explain it all so perfectly. So thank you. I appreciate it. Adventures by Carney, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
Yeah, it fits humans back in the 1700s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen concept art change a million times, and that was the first one that came out. People freaked out. They called it, like, Holiday Inn over at Disney. I mean, look what happened to Reflections, a lakeside resort. That's not even happening anymore. And we saw a bunch of concept art for that. I think you're right. Every time I go by that on the monorail and I go, where are they going to put this giant hotel with a little extension coming out the side? I don't know if it's going to fit. Who knows? Hopefully also it gets a little bit themed a little bit differently than the first original rendering. But I mean, look at the Epcot Spine concept art. Look at any concept art we got over the last 10 years. It's been changed a lot from that first picture to what we actually get. So I think at this point it's just a wait and see what's actually coming, or if they do a new drawing. And that's the next D23. We'll get what it'll actually look like.
I don't know.
Yeah, wait a minute though, Pete. Excuse me. I need to say concept art is concept art, and we keep true to it no matter what. So there you go. I'm sorry, Stephanie. What were you gonna say?
No, it is ugly, riding the monorail back and forth, where my kids are also asking about that because, they'd love to go play in it, just a big pile of dirt right now. But I will say this, they've done things in the past that were very nice. They did the DVC building. When they said they were first going to bring a DVC building to the Grand Floridian, I was very skeptical, but they really did a fantastic job. It's slightly changed from the main building, but it really fits in well. The problem is I don't trust this team, this new design team that has gone through and totally ruined the rooms in the Contemporary and done all these decals on the walls. I just don't trust them. And yes, that looks gigantic compared to the space that they're supposed to be using that in, and maybe it is going to be scaled down. But I wish that they would go back and just totally revamp the whole thing, because the sightlines are not going to be good. You are going to see it for the wedding pavilion, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I was
Unless
looking
the
at this. I mean,
running through that thing, I don't know how. Look at the
Exactly.
Like basically from the monorail to the water. Like unless the monorail's going to run through it, where are you putting all those hotel rooms?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I would assume, like Bay Lake, that the monorail stop is still going to be in the Poly Prime and not, in the Great Ceremonial House, and not in this new building. So, because that would mean another stop, which already on the resort line, like let's say you're staying at the Contemporary and you want to go to the Magic Kingdom on the resort line, that's a trip right there. So I'm hoping, I kind of hope they don't add something to it. I don't think they will, because it would also be more money. So. Anyway, that's another thing that's happening at Disney World. Also, a thing that's happening at Disney World, and boy, this is a game changer. Is they've got new ECVs coming, folks, and the new models. These are the ones you're going to want. I mean, if they're still trying to shill you into the old model, the 2001 or 2021, don't do it. Get the 2022 version, because these things are sharp looking. Patrick, you're about what?
Nursing home scrubs. Bluish green.
Do what?
They look like scrubs in a hospital.
I thought they were themed to Hollywood Studios. There's a lot of that blue in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
You think so?
Of course, you put it right next to the green, and it is very different, and they clash a lot.
Yeah. I was going to say, Patrick, what you and I are about 8-10 years away from these things. How are you feeling?
I mean, if I keep going to jiu-jitsu twice a week, I'm going to be in that the next time I go there, just trying to lick my wounds from that. I really like these. I feel like they look lighter. They look like if they hit me, it's not going to hurt as bad. They seem slimmer. I don't know. I think this is really good. We actually had a conversation in our company Slack where somebody's family couldn't reserve an ECV. I guess it's first come, first serve on the ECV, and they didn't have enough. I would like to see more this size and less that are much larger than a double wide stroller. So this is cool. I like it, and I think this would less room to like throw children in it randomly as well.
You remember that time that
you know, like if Tesla's about to hit something or a new car has that like stopping technology so you don't get into an accident?
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
have one of these for ankles.
Brilliant.
Like if you see my ankle coming up, I want this thing to stop before it clips me, and I have to go, son of a, oh, it's okay. I hope you're having a great vacation. I'm gonna limp over the curb.
I am not seeing that feature on this control panel. I mean, it's got the little yellow horn, so I mean that's good. You know what I wish that horn would do? That would be great. It would be great if the horn would just do that. No, you're right. Like I made this observation last time I was at Disney. Is you've got the people who are in an ECV they kind of go slow. They're like, oh, sorry, and it takes them forever to get anywhere because they don't want to hit anybody. And as crowded as the parks are now, I'm surprised that they don't hit everybody. And then you've got the other people that are just like slam it into full gear, and they're like, you better get out of the way because I'm coming through. And I get it. Like, I get why you would be that way because
ECVs. We need ECV lanes painted on sidewalks, and I'm not making a joke. I'm being dead. Like a bus lane in a major city because there's so many ECVs in the parks now.
That is.
You could actually do that at Epcot. That's pretty good idea.
That's a really good idea, man. You're full of good ideas. We got to get you like in front of Josh, and then you can bring me with you so I can meet Josh.
You got to start trademarking this stuff, buddy. You could have the TaskRabbit idea, put that into Carney Industries as well. But I think, yeah, exactly.
I say just slap some stripes and some freckles on the sides, and man, you've got Avatar ECVs synergy.
That is true. Yeah.
They're blue.
You're not wrong.
They're blue.
Yeah.
Just slap them. The decals. They love
ECVs,
decals.
the
Just put
journey
a
of
tail.
water. Yeah.
Put a tail.
Oh my God! Theme the cord to one of the tails.
Whew.
Dude. God,
And it
This
moves up
is-
and down so you can feel it breathing.
These are somebody write this stuff down. This is amazing. I love all of these ideas. Let's move on again to talking about Disneyland and their rehabs, refurbishments that they keep doing on all of their attractions at the same time. Cars is, to me, Cars Land, and I've said this a million times, is my favorite land, I think, anywhere. And that includes the fact that I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Cars Land. There's something about it. I wasn't expecting to love it. You go in there and you get lost in it. It's fantastic. But I feel like one of my favorite attractions anywhere is probably Radiator Springs Racers. And so I feel like when that's down, that is a huge bummer. Patrick, I know you went for the first time recently. Did you do Radiator Springs Racers?
I did do Radiator Springs Racers, and it is fantastic. And Cars Land is a great place to just sit and kind of take it all in. My favorite land anywhere is a little bit next door at Avengers Campus, but it's really amazing. Anything they can do to keep this ride fresh and keep it looking good, I think is really important, because I think that's like the pinnacle of some really great Imagineering. And when we talk about adding stuff and refurbishments, you have to keep these trademark attractions looking their best, because that's what people are coming for. And that's how you get return people. No one's going to care if there's like a hand falling off a Carousel of Progress, except for people who watch this channel and subscribe to WWNT.com. I would upset me. But somebody's just going in there, they're like, yeah, whatever. I needed to get out of the sun for a little bit, and the song's catchy. So when you get these things that people know about worldwide, you got to keep them looking good. And there's other movies that they can add stuff from in this. The Cars world keeps getting bigger and bigger. I just make it better.
Well, you know what? One of the things is recently, like the past few times I've been on, there's been a ton of the show scenes that don't work. When they go to Frank, a lot of those scenes don't work. They don't, like the sheriff doesn't move sometimes. Mater doesn't move sometimes. There's a lot of moving pieces in this one, obviously. So I love that, that they can get it fixed. But it looks like they at least had the foresight to swap out web slingers was going to be the one that was going to get the refurb, and they were like, no, we're going to do Radiator Springs Racers. I just, speaking to what we were talking about earlier for the super chat about, not telling people to go to the parks, I would say if you're going to Disneyland, make sure you know what's open, because some of their marquee things that they closed down, it would hurt me to go there all that way and not know that those things were, we're not going to be open. So that would be that would really stink. I'm a little fixated on this comment that Rosita did that says these ideas sound like people, the ones that people get when they're stoned. I'm going to go ahead and say,
whatever you want to feel, you can feel. It's all good. It's all love.
It's all right. It's all good. Love you, Rosita. I just thought that was kind of funny. So, yeah. Anyway, I mean, you've ridden it, right, Pete? Cars, Radiator Springs?
I would have to agree with you. I think it's one of the most stunning lands I've ever been in. I haven't been back to Disneyland since Avengers Campus opened, so I can't wait to go back one day, hopefully. But I think it's a stunning land. It's obviously the marquee attraction of the land and probably that park. And I might agree with you that I think it's one of the best, when everything's working, one of the most complete rides to sum up, like Imagineering and fans and excitement. Like, you have fast moments and thrills, you have storytelling, you have amazing technology, you have, it's unbelievable. It's really an unbelievable ride. But, big rides need to be fixed from time to time. I just hope they do it quickly. Like, I remember when they announced it was going to take 2.5 years to do Spaceship Earth, and I'm like, they built the whole thing in 2. So I'm really hoping that this refurbishment is not that long. But yeah, it's the best ride in the best land. I agree with you, Rob. Excellent and well.
Can I just tell you, though, every time I think about that Spaceship Earth refurbishment, I remember you coming back on ParksCenter saying how you had not gotten to ride it before the pandemic, and that Tom had told you, well, if you don't ride it before the pandemic, they're going to close it down, and, you've got to ride it beforehand because they won't open it back up. And then they cancel the refurbishment, and now you probably don't ride it enough. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's great that Disney hated Tom so much they did that just for me, that Tom said it was going to close, so they didn't close it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's move on to Paint the Night, because I freaking love Paint the Night. We've talked about nighttime shows and the ones that we like the most, and et cetera, et cetera. I love Paint the Night. I thought that was an amazing parade that they did at Disneyland, and it's been not doing anything since for a long time now. There's a rumor that it's going to come back in 2023. I would love to see that happen. Although we all know that the lore of Spectro Magic, that they just left it out and let it all rot. Do we think that they've been taking good care, Stephanie, of this parade so that they can just bring it back out whenever they want?
So my friends in entertainment would say that the Spectra Magic debacle was because of the one person that was in charge of it, and they use her as a scapegoat. So that's probably.
Sorry.
I know. Not Pete. Paint the Night is fantastic. I do not buy Disney's excuse of, the Mack the truck is too big to go over the bridge in Liberty Square, and that's why it can't come to Disney World. Please, you built the thing to begin with. You built Spectra Magic to begin with. Just build it again. That's all you have to do. You just don't want to spend the money. That's what it is. And at Disney World, unfortunately, going back to that super chat, do we want to, have people come to Disney World right now, or do we tell them to wait? Disney World is just not the same without a nighttime parade. Nowhere in America can you find a nighttime parade on this extravaganza, this level. And it's really sad to me that they still don't have one. I mean, it was 2017 since the last time they had one, I think. At Disney World.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I have heard the same rumor that said that these floats were too large to bring to Florida, which is kind of crazy, because I feel like there's not a more cramped park in the world than Disneyland. But
right.
But at the same time, it's such an amazing parade. It needs to be going on somewhere. Patrick, you have not seen this one in person, but I assume you've seen videos. You mute?
Oh, mute.
Muted? Muted? Mute? Can you? You're not muted?
No, I am. I don't
hey.
recall putting that on. So, great. I have not seen it in person. I actually just linked in the YouTube chat to our video of it, and it's a fantastic parade. I literally started my own conspiracy theory that it was just sitting in storage in the Magic Kingdom storage. I took the keys to the Kingdom Tour, and I wanted to sneak away to see if it was there. This is one of the best parades they've ever done, and people are like, oh, what about a new parade? I'm like, I don't care about a new parade. Just give me this one. This one's fine. Just use it. I don't know.
Mhm.
It seems like they really don't know how money works sometimes. And for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, it's very confusing to me. Like, hey, we built this fireworks show. It doesn't work. Throw it away. Use that somewhere else.
Yeah.
This doesn't. We're not running this somewhere. Bring it somewhere. You got like 15 parks. Well, yeah, I think that's right. Like individual
Worldwide.
parks worldwide. I'm sure it fits somewhere. Is it 15?
So take the barges somewhere and make them useful instead of taking them out
Yes.
back and smashing them office space style, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't repeat
Pete-
the Spectro mistake.
Okay. Speaking of Pete, repeat. What's up?
No, you guys have all really hit the nail on the head here. There's nothing else to say. Paint the Night is absolutely remarkable. I never got a chance to see it. I would love it here. It's even like you don't even have to really build it again. Most of the floats can work. If you can just repurpose one float or make adjustments, that's not that much money. You're talking about throwing, like Patrick said, you're talking about throwing away a fireworks show that had a very short run that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm pretty sure you could get a different version of the Mack truck for the show.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't get why there's no nighttime parade. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. I agree with everything you guys said. I think you guys make great points. I would actually think this would make a great publicity. And hear me out. Imagine it is in California, and they just did the parade from California to Florida,
That would
just
be
across the
amazing.
nation. Wouldn't that be fun? Think about the publicity it would get. Even if everything doesn't work and it just is like, ain't he right? Like, whatever it says on the side of it, you know, because it's old, it's falling apart. Just send it across the country. Anyway,
Yep.
but yeah,
That
I agree.
Sorry, Pete. Anyway, we got another super chat from Rosita that said Disney World is still doing the 50th anniversary, and it seems it doesn't get the love that Disneyland does. The world should be bigger in entertainment than the land, just saying. So she's throwing some shade at Arlo there because I know that that's his home park. But thank you, Rosita, for the super chat. We appreciate you so much.
we
But that's
got
a great...
floor mats. We got 50th anniversary floor mats. How are you not excited?
I mean,
Oh, you mean the ones
we did
outside the
get beacon
hotels?
of light on Spaceship
At
Hill.
all the hotels, we have big 5-0s now. I don't know if everyone heard. Kind of a big deal, the 50th anniversary here.
How long till you have one outside of your place? Don't lie, you're
saying
gonna
that
get
I
one.
don't already?
What were you going to say, Stephanie?
No, I'm just saying you can wipe your feet with them. That's
Ooh.
important.
You know what, though? Like, you're talking about that Mac float. Let's just leave that one out. I mean, there's plenty of other floats on there, and it would still be a better parade
Right.
than no parade. So, you know, if
Exactly.
that's the problem, then just leave that one out. You don't need to replace it unless there's some quota that says unless it has a certain amount of floats, it's not a parade, it's a cavalcade. Then just bring it back as a cavalcade. I don't know. I don't know how that
Thank you.
stuff
Make
works.
it part of the electrical
Oh, that's
water
a great
packet outside.
idea.
Yes.
Like random
Nighttime cavalcade?
like, paint the night cavalcades.
Yes.
Pete, that's another one. Write that one down too. Oh, man, we are on
They gotta
fire
hire us.
tonight. We are
I mean,
we are
all
on
the bad
fire.
things we said about former CEOs should not be held against us.
Hear
Yes,
me out,
please.
guys. Let's buy a ton of acres in a very tropical part of the world and make this happen.
I agree.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm in.
Let's talk about Moana for just a moment, for just a millisecond. So Tafiti has finally made an appearance at the Moana Journey of Dirt, as I keep calling it, because it's been so long for them to do this project. You know, but this is also, again, kind of like the Zach Ridley flooring thing. It's like they put one thing in and they make a big deal about it. But
And it
this
is
thing has
Zach Ridley,
been...
too.
Yeah, probably.
She
What
is
did I
going to need
say?
a trim by the time this thing opens up.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's... Okay.
I've
But, you know,
been
when I
staring
look
at
at
the
this...
end of construction for as long as I can remember.
When I look at this concept art, though, it just looks like, hey, you know, like you were talking about Spaceship Earth, it took 2 years to make, but 2.5 to refurb. Like, why is this taking so long to make? I don't know, but it's, I mean, it looks like it's going to be cool. And the thing is, again, now that the monorail is running at Epcot, you can come around and you can see, because our reporters take shots that we share on WDWNT.com all the time. You can see what's going on there, but it also looks like it's just taking way too long to make this happen. Pete, what's up?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't get why this is. I mean, even based on the concept art, it looks like. I mean, again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it doesn't look that complicated, right? This is a walk-through attraction. Like, it's not like there's not a lot of safety concerns. Like, I mean, there's always safety concerns, but not like where you're strapping people in. There's no ride vehicles. You're really just putting up fiberglass, pumping water through it, making sure there's enough shade here and there, and that it connects to Moana, but also the nature element of Epcot. This should not be taking this long, unless this is somehow intertwined with something else that's going to be in that area. Kind of like when they were doing Flight of Passage, where Navi River Journey is underneath it. So it's like you're getting a 2-in-1 kind of thing. That maybe this attraction, some of the elements of it will also be intertwined with something else happening in that area. I don't know. It should. And then when they say the end of this year, that's crazy because it looks like it's like a few weeks, if not months away. That's kind of like when they told us they were going to open Tron in the spring, and we were like, Josh Tomorrow wrote it in September or October. Like, let's get on this thing.
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Or they're just tired of going way past deadlines. So they're like, it should be ready in a week, but let's just give it a year.
No problem. By the way, this is always fun, too. This is the official picture that Disney released, and this is the one that our reporters took.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, like, Disney really tweaked it a lot. I mean, what's the truth? Is this how it looks?
It's a journey of water, and she is taking in a lot of water. She's 16 feet tall.
I'm just tired of the construction walls up front in Epcot. I can't wait for them to open this stuff more so that we can get traffic flow back and forth than really the attractions themselves. The new Communicore Festival building and the Journey of Water. Really, I just want to be able to walk from the land to the creation shop without figuring out getting out the slide rule and go, is it faster to go around Spaceship Earth or is it faster to go around the other way to get there? It would be nice to actually have those walkways back again, and to me that's a big thing. And Pete, before COVID, I think you and I, all of us talked about, like, was it the right move to blow up all of Epcot at the same time rather than to do projects at a time? And if the answer was yes, we're going to open it all at the same time and it's going to be a brand new Epcot all at once, that'd be great. And I know that things got slowed down because of COVID, but this has been a thing, and goes back to what you were talking about too, Pete, about this being like a food court, because there's so much in the front that's still not open.
And it's not like it can't be done. I mean, you're literally watching it happen up the road at Universal. They're building a completely new theme park in the amount of time it's taking us to build Moana Journey of Water. Like, is anyone else concerned? They're building in a whole new theme park that is also going to be bigger than their 2 theme parks they currently have combined. And they're going to be opening probably around the same time that Epcot finishes their final, elements of this refurbishment. It just, things move so slow at Disney. I don't know if it's like bureaucracy or red tape or lack of funding or constantly changing ideas. It can be a million things in the construction world, but they got to figure it out. Like, they are taking forever. We built the original Disneyland. I feel like Disney did it in like, we'll get it done in a few months. Like, it's crazy how long construction projects take at Disney. And I know that they're involved, but it's not like another theme park, one of the biggest ones in the world, right up the street is doing it in, I want to say, more than double the speed you are doing it.
If I defend Disney, if I can defend Disney just really quickly, it is harder to renovate a house than to build a new one, because when you renovate, you go into a project, you might not know what's behind the wall. You might find wiring that's, 100 years old or something.
But it's not a new house. They demolished everything in the area. They literally knocked everything in the area down. It is a brand new land. And you knew everything that was underneath it. Like, it is a new house.
That is true. That area, I agree. But I do wonder if they didn't find something that they had to, like you said, they had trouble connecting or going into underground, to get that area done. Yeah,
all right, let's move on so that I can vent about popcorn buckets for just a minute, if you don't mind. I was so nervously excited about the Mr. Toad popcorn bucket. I contacted a friend of mine who was like, "Hey, I'm going in tomorrow morning. You want me to get you one?" I was like, "Yes, for the love of God, get me that popcorn bucket," because I knew that everybody internally was going to be, going trying to get it. It looked so cool. Here it is. It's the Mr. Toad popcorn bucket. I think this is one of the best ones they've done. I thought this was going to be another Figment 7-hour run. And then now they're available at Disney Springs. I don't know. I mean, what's the next thing? They're at the outlets. I mean, it's just, probably. I feel like, I can't, because Pete doesn't have one yet. Okay, I get it. That'll be exciting. So, I mean, I'm happy
That
for
I'm putting
people
right
that don't.
next to Lauren's engagement ring that I'm hanging on the tree. She loves Mr.
That's going to be
Toad.
fantastic. You're going to love how that works out for you. So I'm excited. I mean, there's been a lot of cool popcorn buckets and sippers, and to the point where I'm like, I have, like I need you guys to time out for just a second. Let me, get a little bit of money back in the account before I go in and buy more. But oh, you got something there? What you got? Oh, you got water. I thought you were going to pull out like some kind of popcorn bucket there, buddy. There it is.
Can't afford that.
There's
So
the
pretty.
one.
That's
Yeah.
the one I wanted.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So now they've announced there's going to be this Magic Kingdom popcorn bucket, which is another mouse ear balloon popcorn bucket. And I liked this popcorn bucket the first time when it was called the Magic Key popcorn bucket in Disneyland. I'm okay on the balloon popcorn buckets. I probably won't get the Magic Kingdom one. So you've done me a favor, Disney, on that one. But some of them are so cool and intricate, and yet at the same time, G Skywalker said Mr. Toad is not popular. I feel like Mr. Toad is popular. I think that was a pretty good popcorn bucket. But I get what you're saying. Like, it's not the same as everyone else. But Figment, man, that one was a debacle, and I was ready for another debacle with this one. And now it's like the people are tripping over them. It seems like, Patrick, you're a popcorn bucket aficionado as well as bowls.
It's my daughter's college fund right there. I got told I could take that straight to eBay. I agree with the person in the chat. Mr. Toad isn't popular, but these are not meant to be for everyone. These are meant to be for us. And for the people who Mr. Toad is popular for, and for the people who love Figment and maybe permanently scarred Figment on their own body. That's what these are for, and that's who they're selling them to. And what we're seeing, I'm bringing back Ticketmaster and Taylor Swift because I'm trying to get Taylor to notice me. I call her all the time and never. Anyway, these are getting sold more in the parks. If they create more demand for them, then they don't have to deal with people buying 8 of them and then either selling them at an inflated price, or then they're stuck with the thing, and now people are seeing that for less than they're charging for, and that becomes a problem too. I think this is very much an anti-scalper type maneuver by having them available in more places. On the one hand, I don't like it because I like the exclusivity, but on the other hand, more people should get a chance to get it. You don't put anything in there. I know you better than that. It's just you're miming a sip.
You're right. There's never been liquid in that. That would be a blasphemy. But so like this is the one that I have, this red one, and I think this
That's
is
ugly.
like the only one that
I'm sorry, that was ugly compared to the ones we just saw.
It's the one you bring to the park and show them so you can get your popcorn refill. That's the one you bring to the park.
Okay, fair enough. Speaking of AP, let's talk. And Pete, you stopped on the transitions. Did I do you dirty? I'm sorry, man.
I
You
didn't
were
get a
working
chance
so
to
hard
talk
on
about popcorn buckets, but you know what? I'll talk more on the next one. Let's
talk.
about
No, I
AP
want to hear
first.
you want popcorn. I thought you don't buy popcorn buckets. You buy popcorn buckets?
No, my only thing I was going to contribute was I judge popcorn buckets on how many texts I get from people saying, "Can you get me one?" And Figment obviously was the big one, but Mr. Toad, I got a ton of messages of people asking me to buy them Toad popcorn buckets. So I mean, yeah, they were genius by putting this out. Yeah, just keep taking beloved things away from us, and we will buy it in popcorn bucket form.
Don't give him any ideas.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So let's talk about AP perks.
We're actually just going to get a paint the night popcorn bucket coming out in about 2 weeks. What's the matter?
I'd buy
They
it.
didn't have a time to show Paint the Night glowing
Light
away
up.
merchandise.
Yeah, I would buy it. It's fine. So there's the AP perks thing still boggles my mind. You can't buy an AP, but we're going to reward the people with and say, look how awesome it is to be an AP, and I love that as an AP. But I'm thinking if I'm not an AP, you're going, hey, here's some great stuff. You can get this new magnet. You can get 30% off for a limited time. You can get extra reservations, but you can't have an AP. But wouldn't it be cool if you could? Wouldn't it be cool?
Like
So
Club
when I'm
33
looking,
at Disneyland, except only $1,000 a year.
so one of the things they says almost 2 weeks of bonus reservations available to Walt Disney World pass holders. The problem that I see here is that's top tier, isn't it, Pete? Because like if you have say sorcerers, aren't you getting to the point where you're about to be blocked from the park?
Yeah, I'm sorcerer. Yeah, I've always been the top one, and then this year, because the price jumps were just so much, they took away the week that I'm in New York for Thanksgiving and the week that I'm in New York for Christmas. So I was like, I may as well as just do the Sorcerer. Um, hey, I'm happy to get any kind of perks because we kind of were stepped on, and I still think we are. The fact that I'm an annual pass holder and it says that I only have these blackout days, but even let's say before I renewed this year, when I had every single day, no blackout date, I mean, into the writing, it says no blackout dates, but then when you can't get a park reservation, why am I paying all this money as an AP? It's kind of, it's a joke. Like, I don't know how, like, they're even getting away with this. Like, saying you have unlimited access to something, but it's saying you can't come in is insane. Like, it's literally a contradiction of what you're putting in writing. So, hey, I'm all for AP perks because APs have been abused and misled, and it hurts. Even with park hopping, like if I want to go to one park, and now I got to wait till 2 o'clock to go over here. Like me and Lauren were talking about this the other night. That when we moved here, it was nice just to like on a random night, like, hey, where do you want to go to dinner? Well, let's go to maybe watch a show at Epcot and grab a bite to eat there. And you can't just do that during a lot of parts of the year. So it's frustrating. So yeah, I'll take any kind of AP perks we can get because I do feel like we've been misled a lot in the last few years since the reservation system.
Yes, I agree. But also this. So we have another super chat from CK Barry. I was at Magic Kingdom tonight. Told my daughter we should check out Mr. Toad. Check for Mr. Toad. Cast member looked none left. Lady next to me said that they're sold. They sold the last 25 minutes early. Is it 25 or 2 to 5? 25.
Last
Let's
two.
just say 25.
They sold the last two 5 minutes.
5 minutes earlier. Gotcha. Yeah. So thank you for that information in the super chat. So they were selling them at Disney Springs. So I don't know if that's still the problem if they're at Disney Springs and not at Magic Kingdom. Because I had the same problem with the Donald candy corn. Is that I almost missed a plane. I've told this story a bunch of times. Racing to Magic Kingdom because it was the only place that had one around Halloween. When I went back around Christmas, you were tripping over them again. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I don't know what the situation is there, but hopefully you guys can find one at Disney Springs.
Honestly, you know what they should do if they really want like special popcorn buckets is put a limited number on them like magic bands, because that's why I got into special magic bands. If there was a really cool one and there was only a run of 1,000, I would make that a priority. Yeah, like Patrick showing behind you. So if you put on the bottom of a popcorn bucket 1 of 1,000 or 4 of 4,000, whatever it may be, then there'll be more urgency. If they really want to sell them out. But these are just easy to make. These are just molds like out of a plastic factory. They can call the company and order more if they need them. The popcorn bucket craze to me is wild.
Okay. No, I agree. Yeah, and yet I can't stop. So here's the thing that I thought was interesting, too, about the pass holder perks is 20% off discount coming to Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. Yeah. I feel like this is something we should have had all along, is a discount on the stuff for the Festival of the Holidays, because again, AP is going to go much more, use this, as the food court, like you said. And you go up there and you feel like, you know what, I'm paying a lot of money to hit the stand. If I were to go to Nine Dragons, I'd get my discount, but I don't because I want to hit the, all of the booths, and now you don't give me anything. But I was there for the opening day. I didn't get the 20%, but now it's coming back. So I feel like you should have planned this ahead of time to make it fair for everyone.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, I've been at this festival like 8 times already, paying full price like a buffoon, and now they're getting me 20% off when I've tried every food item and drank everything. Right before they blocked me out with my Sorcerer Pass. They know what they're doing. This is unbelievable. But hey, again, it's better than nothing, and I'm sure it'll just be on food and not beverage, and that's a real shame.
It's just like that guy who played the Genie the second time. What do you think, Stephanie?
It was a real shame that I missed it by a week, right? I just got that. No, what I will say is that I do love a deal, and so what I will do is I will go to Target and use my red card and get some Disney gift cards, and that is a 5% off. So I'm getting my measly 5% off of everything that I use my gift card on at Disney World. But this would have been nice to add that to my 5%, at 25% off. That would have been fantastic. I think that, dare I say, Disney has learned its lesson, and it's trying to throw the APs a freaking bone compared to Universal's APs, because they do such a good job over there for them. I don't know. I don't know if this is just a transient thing or if it's going to stay. I'd like to see it stay.
Well, so we've got the
still more stuff from Universal. Their Universal's AP program is so much better.
They got the golden passes, the extra reservations. They've got the 20% off of the food at the booths. That's great. They also went from 20 to 30%. That whole like surprise and delight, we're taking you to 30%. But
Nice.
let's not forget over on the West Coast that they get this bag. So, I mean, it's
Gotta have
fair.
the bag.
Now, but the funny thing is that normally I feel like Magic Key gets more stuff than we do in Florida, so I think this is pretty good. What are your thoughts, Patrick?
Man, I think somebody said it here and somebody said it in the chat that Universal treats its past members, and we've talked about it several times in the show, so much better than we do. We've been called undesirable and all that fun stuff. Whatever they're giving us is not enough.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And Stephanie, Joe said in chat, appreciates that hack. So thanks for, if you take nothing away from tonight other than that and some of our grand ideas that we're going to be opening up our own theme park.
BJ's Club too also has discounts on the Disney.
Also, I mean,
I think
I'll
Sam's
kind
Club
of
too.
I'll contradict myself a little bit too. Is that we just talked? If park prices keep going up, single day is going to be like $200. If they're selling annual passes for the cost of 5 days, do they really have to give us a lot? Because we're saving a lot if you go more than 5 days. But still, if
they need to give us a lot.
Supposed to be a reward. But if it's supposed to be a reward program and your biggest competitor up the road is doing so much, I don't think it takes much for you to show a little bit of love and appreciation from time to time.
Exactly.
And user Patrick Hackett in chat said you should get the AP discount on Shop Disney. I agree with you, Patrick. Like, I mean, that's and they do it from time to time, but you should always get it because when they had that Shop Disney Parks app, you could use that discount then and get park stuff.
If your Shop Disney is linked to your My Disney experience, you should get it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like you should get it like in theory. I'm talking about in practice. You actually should get it. I
haven't. I mean, I usually have to use my D23 discount or my Disney Visa discount, which is not as deep as the discount I get for AP.
It automatically discounts me because it has.
While we're at it, I want reserved seating for all shows. I want reserved spots in the parking lot. There's a lot more on my wish list, but
I feel like you already probably get all that stuff, Pete. I feel like you probably get it all. Speaking of parking lots, we've got Epcot trams might be coming back. We've seen some signage that says it could be coming back. I know that we had run a story and talked about it on ParksCenter recently that they came back to Animal Kingdom, they came back to Magic Kingdom, but that Hollywood Studios and Epcot would probably not happen for the end of the year. There's signage now that indicates that it might actually happen. Honestly, with Epcot, I'm not 100% sure that that's the first one I would do. I would consider maybe Hollywood Studios before I would consider Epcot. I'm guessing that you probably don't drive a lot when you go to the park, Stephanie, but I mean, it's time for trams to come back everywhere, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think because Epcot is so large that the way it's spread out is maybe why Hollywood Studios seems to be more compact. And when I worked there, you would park in a certain area and Animal Kingdom is the same way. The cast parking is next to the regular parking. So it's more compact. I don't know. I think that they need to, it's just a service. It's just a nicety that they need to have for their guests. After a long day of walking 9 to 11 miles on average in one of their parks, then why your feet are barking. Like, you need to get on the tram and be able to go to your car.
Yeah, Patrick?
I park preferred, so the trams don't really do much.
Wow, bougie. Let's go to Pete. Are you as bougie?
That is the best answer ever. No, I mean, Epcot, I do believe, should get the trams first. Hollywood Studios is not that bad of a walk, especially now that the trams aren't running. If you walk down the tram line, it's not that far. Epcot is a long walk, and even if it's maybe seems short of the main gate, it's such a larger park, especially if you're walking to the World Showcase, going around it once or twice, and walking back to your car. Granted, you are eating and drinking a lot, so maybe Disney's just trying to keep the caloric intake down and keeping you in shape by doing that, put an extra mile on your lap.
Cut the waistline.
Smaller meals.
I think are a part of Disney culture, and I think no matter whether we need them, we deserve them. They have them. They own them. They put in these new tram lines, and they're not even using the trams. They did major construction at Epcot Hollywood Studios. They put in all this new tram stuff and then just didn't use the trams. It costs it's a few cast members pay an hour. You know, one popcorn bucket a week from somebody is paying for this.
Rob's covering it.
Yeah, Rob's merch is covering all the trams. So, what are they doing? Bring back the trams. People need them. And also, I feel bad. There's a lot of people who are like, whether they say they're handicapped or not, or forgot their permit, or people who just it's a lot of walking. It's a long day in the parks. The tram at night, granted, even in the mornings, it's important too, but the tram at night, I feel like is a nice welcome relief for so many guests who have been on their feet all day long, and then they have to go find their car. Thankfully now, thanks to State Farm, we have the car finder here at Walt Disney World. But,
Patrick, how many munchlings do you have to buy for them to bring trams back?
My munchling that I want is not anywhere. I can't find it. I wish I got it early. I'm not going to get stitched for Christmas.
Him paying for preferred parking is 4 hours of a Walt Disney World cast member's pay.
Oh, that's so sad. I get a discount, though, so maybe it's only 2 hours.
Oh!
All right.
Okay, well, we got another super chat here from the queen herself. Rosita has given us another super chat. Not that one. We'll take that one away. Technical difficulties and whatnot. So it's this one. And she says, I like Patrick, I parked preferred, but I'm waiting for a lawsuit from an elderly person that passes out in the parking lot from the Florida heat.
Elderly person? I pass out in Epcot parking lots almost every night.
That's very different.
Drinking is
that's it's a completely different conversation. Let's just power through because we got one last thing to talk about, which is the restrooms, and I feel like this is a conversation we've had. Either we had it post show or we had it during a show once, because we were talking about restrooms and which are the best and which are the worst. And I definitely want to hear from this panel, because one of the things I've always said, and I said Disney generically, so it could be Disney parks, or it could be Disney hotels, or it could be Disneyland or Disney World. But when I've looked at Disneyland has very small bathrooms in comparison, I feel like, to the ones at Disney World. They seem smaller and older because it's the original park, and they haven't made as many investments maybe to the restrooms there as they have in Disney World. But for Disney World, when we ran this article, and the article was talking about one of the worst restrooms at Disney World, or at Magic Kingdom, is set for a major expansion and remodeling in early 2023. And I said this to my wife, and I just generically said, can you guess which one it was? And instantly she goes, Liberty Tree.
Oh,
Liberty
really?
Tree. She went, and I went, nope, it's not Liberty Tree. And I was like, why would you say that? She said, they are literally the worst restrooms that I've ever been in. Because, maybe it's because they're well themed to colonial times. I don't know. I mean, but you have to walk upstairs to them. The men's and women's room are about one body length apart from each other, and apparently they might be carpeted. I don't know. She couldn't remember on that part, but apparently they're pretty bad. So, but these that they're set to refurbish are over at Pinocchio's Village House. So, Stephanie, you think this was the right one? That these need to be fixed? Have you been to these before?
Oh, absolutely. As a massive bathroom situation, yes, absolutely. When you're talking about the small restaurant ones, Liberty Tree at Magic Kingdom, hands down. Over at Epcot, I would go with Akershus because it's terrible. I don't know why they think that 2 stalls in a women's bathroom is ever adequate or sufficient. It should be double or at least triple the size of a men's bathroom at all times, I think. Also Beer Garden, it's also terrible over there. But yes, the ones at the Pinocchio Village House definitely needed updating. They definitely needed refurbishment.
Well, and another one that's along those same lines too, and I'm not sure if the women's room is like this, but the Poly across from Ohana, those are pretty small ones too. Maybe not. Patrick, what are your thoughts? What were you going to say? We'll go to Patrick. Patrick, what are the worst ones?
The Pinocchio Village House ones. It literally set us back 2 weeks of potty training with my daughter. The condition was horrible. B, the size. And it was just a nightmare in there. And there's not another one close enough. Both Columbia Harbor House and Liberty Tree are pretty bad. I don't know if, like what you're saying, theme-wise, it's that. I remember there used to be just the one unisex bathroom in, it's still there, in boulangerie. And I don't know how we got away with that before the giant Ratatouille toilets opened. Ratatouille toilet sells better than like Punzel Potty or the Tangle toilets. Those are obviously the best. Is those very well themed Rapunzel toilets, and Ratatouille's are ginormous, and you can just walk through it.
Pete, thoughts?
Well, I don't want to. A lot of people know about this. If you watch my YouTube channel, Adventure by Carney, we're working actively, actually, on a segment that we're calling "Potty with Pete."
Oh Lord!
And where we rate all the bathrooms at the Disney park. So I have been doing a lot of research, and
That certainly
yeah,
doesn't look like a graphic that you
restrooms.
made just now. It looks like something that you've been.
No, this I had I paid a designer for this graphic.
Yeah. No, it looks great.
Rob.
You had AI do it.
Cool. Yeah. There's a lot of restrooms that could use some love. You know how you can tell too, and this is something I've started to notice. I've spent way too much time in Disney restrooms. Is you can tell how old the restroom is based on the water pressure on the sink. Like some of them, it's kind of like growing older as a male. Like some of them just have like a little pitter patter coming out where you just want a little bit of water. And those new ones, like a Ratatouille, it is like a jet engine is powering that water. It is wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the original question was, but I know a lot about restrooms at Disney.
I feel like all of a sudden this chat needs a moderator. So when we go, one of the ones that I think is pretty cool is the World Showplace ones, because they open them up only on special occasions. And you go back there and you go to the left and you can go from the back end of there, and it's the largest restroom I think that I've ever seen, and it's pretty immaculate because they don't ever clean them. Why are you shaking your head?
Never encountered this restroom. You're like,
amazing.
Really?
You're talking about a unicorn.
Like 30 or 40 urinals, and I've never seen more than one other person in this restroom. And there's like 20 different toilets. Oh, I could spend a month in this bathroom, and I would never hit the same place twice.
Yep. Yep. So it's those double gates between UK and Canada, where they used to have, it was called the Millennium Pavilion, and then it was now it's World Showplace, and you go back in there, and sometimes they test out like character meet and greets there, and for some of the bigger events they have the pavilion itself open, whether it was food and wine or some of those
Even
things.
during COVID, in the events, and you can enter from either side, outside or inside, and it's a great bathroom. I will say this: the best bathrooms are going to be the ones that are obscure or out of the way. Like someone I think said in the chat, like Imagination.
Absolutely.
Like any restroom that's kind of off the beaten path is going to be fantastic. And then those high occupancy, crazy bathrooms on the busy trails are just
right in the front of the park.
They're nuts. I have the best bathroom stories. I mean, like I see a parent chasing a kid out of a stall at least once a week, and that kid is definitely still going to the bathroom. So yes, go find the bathrooms that are. I wish I had the old maps. But go find a bathroom that is nowhere near anything, and that is going to be the best experience of your day.
Yeah, Kate actually has. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, imagination is the best place to poop. Absolutely.
Wow. And I zoomed in on her for that one. Wow. Wow. I was going to say, Kate said in chat, Bucky's bathrooms.
You know what? If I'm an AP, here's another AP perk I want. I want to have some bidets. I want to be extra fancy. And I want to walk around clean in this Florida heat. That's all I'm saying.
How about instead of like having our own entrance gate for AP, we have our own bathroom for AP? Just take any other one and just go, this is for APs only.
DVC deserves our own bathrooms first.
Isn't that weird?
In the lounge. Here below.
I was going to say, isn't that weird, though, that the DVC lounge doesn't have one? And that's why Imagination, I think that's how we found the Imagination ones. We went into the DVC lounge, and it was like, hey, where's the closest restroom? You got to go downstairs, go behind the pavilion, and that's where it is. So, you know, when somebody tells you to go pee behind the pavilion, there's actually a bathroom there.
He was also right about Liberty Tree. When I asked where to go there, they just go pee on the tree. You're a guy. Women inside, guys got to go outside. Yeah. They're like, it's $16.99. You got this is how.
This is an authentic meal. Yeah, we absolutely have to do it that way. Yeah, and so. I think you're right that some of those that are best are the ones that are more out of the way, but or the newer ones, like we talked about, like Patrick said, Ratatouille and Rapunzel. Rapunzel is a very pretty area, and so that's kind of one of those things where every time we're moving through there, it's like, hey, let's go ahead and stop here. I mean, they should have done something better for Rapunzel than bathrooms, but I mean, it's still, you know, I'm sure that
This
if a
bathroom
little
is so good. There's a photo op in front of it. That is how nice that bathroom is. There's literally a photo person in front of a restroom.
Yep. One last one of like kind of like honorable mention. I want to ask you guys what you think about this one. Is the one in Batu, like the one at Black Spire Outpost, which has like the big hand washing troughs in the middle.
Yeah,
Stephanie, how are you feeling about that? Because you just came back from space.
It's still pretty crowded. I like the ones like we were talking about that are out of the way that you can actually get in and get out in a reasonable time. So that one's still pretty crowded, but I do really love the sound that the music that they pipe in, because it's the droids talking, you know, it's the it's still themed very well in that one space.
Yeah. Okay.
Unintended.
Pete, what were you gonna say about those?
Oh no, I was gonna say I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it. Like the trough sinks are weird. The water temp and pressure vary like way too often. Like it can be 100 degrees outside and yet boiling hot tea is coming out of there. Like it doesn't work. The mirrors, like I know what they're trying to do with like the mirrors and making them look aged and like they're in space and dirty, but they just look like dirty mirrors. Like I don't know, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Batu bathrooms. For me, I go before I leave the planet.
One of the things that gets me is a good
Especially
bathroom
here in
anywhere.
World, because you will go to the bathroom corner right before you go into Batu by the Muppets. You have the Muppets bathrooms, which are awesome. Gonzo's Royal Plus.
Rizzo.
Then you have the two bathrooms right behind it on the DVC sales corner, kind of by
The new ones.
over
by
and
Olaf.
then you have the Sci-Fi Dine-In and Baseline bathroom and ABC Commissary bathroom. So you have bathrooms galore before you have to go to Batu. There's no excuse to go before you go.
I don't know that I've ever been in the Toy Story ones. Has anybody been in there? Are those? I heard those were bad.
All the urinals are short. So like all the urinals are at your ankles, and I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, but it's very interesting. Like if you are not paying attention, you can miss the urinal.
Can I just tell you that for a bathroom to be good to me, it has to have the trifecta of touchless items: touchless sink, touchless soap, touchless paper towels. Not a blower. And I know we're trying to save the earth, but just give me some of that recycled paper towel thing, because that's really what you need to do.
I was going to say the same thing. That's my beef with Universal, and I know it's not great for the planet, but those blowers do nothing. And a lot of the times in the parks when I'm sweating because it's so hot, when I wash my hands after the nice clean, I'll wash my face and splash some water in my face, and then I'll turn around and there'll only be a blower. And now I got to put my face underneath a hot blower or just walk around looking like I'm even sweatier than I am because I'm covered in water. Thank goodness Disney's still giving us paper towels. We shouldn't be bringing this up because I'm afraid they're going to go away one day.
Pete Carney, Journey of Water. So the other thing, though, is when I was at the airport in MCO, in the Orlando airport bathroom, they had – what'd you say?
Those are awful bathrooms.
Well, they have a little metal basket next to the urinal for you to put stuff in. I'm like, no, not going to put anything in that. Why are you doing that? Did you see those? It's like the little and I get the concept is like it's like maybe put your phone in there or something, but no, I'm not putting anything in there. That's nasty. But they're there for your convenience. I don't know what that's about. Next time y'all are in the
I don't
MCO
want to sound
bathroom,
like Tom,
see if
but
that's
we
there.
need to do our bathrooms more like Japan. Japanese bathrooms are like a luxury spa experience. You get like heated seats, bidets, massages. They give you a pedicure while you're going. It's unbelievable.
What is with you and bidets, dude? I mean, how bad are you having?
Awesome.
I think every home in America should have a bidet. When you wash your hands, imagine doing that without water. I'd say here, just use some paper towels and wash your hands.
Yeah.
Now, if you introduce water, you get a better clean. This is what bidets do for the hiney.
Oh my
Gotcha.
gosh.
A bidet is
all right.
Well,
all right. So let's wrap this up. I appreciate you guys being on here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right.
You have the floor, sir.
It's not accessible anymore, but my favorite bathroom is in Universal, back by the old Blue Man Group show, because it was still themed to Nickelodeon, and I would always make sure no one was in it, and just take pictures of all the slime-covered floors. You'd also see a piece of the Berlin Wall back there. It's history and educational while you go to the bathroom.
Interesting, but again, this See, it says Disney right here. So
Oh, come
I
on.
don't really
Oh,
know.
oh wow. Ooh.
I'm not sure.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So sorry.
I miss that whole Nickelodeon studio tours thing. I feel like that whole place is a wash anymore. It's a great piece of land that needs to be expanded upon. So yeah, let's bring them back and keep that as an homage to the old Nick Studios. Okay, so now I want to wrap everything up, give everybody just final thoughts for the night. We'll start with Stephanie, work our way back around with Patrick. Anything you want to talk about? Final thoughts for tonight, go.
Just recapping what we said, bring back a nighttime parade, wish that they had done a holiday overlay for the Star Cruiser. That's a little throw in for the post show there. But I had a fun time. We had a great time at Disney. It's just very, very crowded. And hopefully if this tiered pricing thing comes down, maybe that means that the crowds won't be as severe as they are. But I'm not holding my breath.
Okay, Mr. Carney.
Well, one, I'm just super excited to be back. Thanks for having me. I thought the panel was so much fun tonight. It's a real honor to be back. I love you guys. And yeah, everything. I'll be the eternal optimist here, and I'll say it's nice to see that the APs are getting the 20%. You know, we got possible changes to Genie Plus. We have other things happening. So I hopefully behind the scenes, we're going to get some more love in the parks, and we're going to get some more discounts and try not to really abuse the middle and lower class and maybe welcome them back to the parks in a friendlier manner. So that might take years, but I hope that we're taking steps in the right direction. And in the meantime, we'll have fun talking about it here. And again, thanks for having me. I love being back.
Very cool. And Mr. Hackett?
I think that every bathroom should have a bidet. It is very important.
Yes.
I also think that the 4 people on this episode should immediately be hired to Walt Disney World. We would make so much positive change. And the guy that we don't like is gone. So, I mean, we don't have to go to HR for anything. We'll be pretty good. And this is always a great time being on here. I can't wait to come back and see what the new year holds for Walt Disney World.
Very cool.
Amen.
So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for everyone who's been watching. And a shout out to our WIGS members. We love our WIGS. You guys are awesome. The WDWNT Interglobe Society. If you want more information on it, check it out at patreon.com/WDWNT. You get great perks, including a post show for this show that we'll be talking about a few things, including Stephanie's recent trip to space. She's going to tell us about it. So please, if you are a WIGS member, please join us. We would love to have you. Also, don't forget to hit up Adventures by Carney. Adventures by Carney, great content, a lot of fun. Pete, I mentioned this before in the pre-show. A Pete live stream. They don't stop. That's an all-day event. So please join Mr. Carney.
You can't say the word live stream while I have the potty with Pete sign up. Hold on.
So thanks for being on, man. We'll have you guys back. We have one more show next week on the 18th, our final show of the year, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break, as I'm sure every one of you will. If you can't join us next week, then I hope you have a great holiday, and if you can, please join us for ParksCenter. Join us this Wednesday for Deep in the Plus. We're going to be doing Andor, and we're excited to talk about that, and then we're also going to, the week after, Patrick Hackett and I have a special, because everybody loved...
Go tell him.
Okay. All right. Cool. It'll be a surprise. But anyway, there's more content coming. So thank you guys so much for being with us. We appreciate you. Hope you had fun. We did. Have a great night. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Buy a bidet.